I'm on my way to my therapy appointment. This is my first appointment with Dr. Sherry Blake. She's about 40 minutes out. So just some things that's on my mind as I go. I thought that I would feel nervous and scared, but I don't really feel that. But I thought that I would, maybe a week or two ago. Right now, I'm kind of feeling maybe not prepared. I guess I would have liked to have provided something that said, okay, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm looking to get out of it. And, you know, I guess just to have a clear reason as to why I'm going. Now, I believe that there's many reasons why I'm going to therapy, why I need therapy. But I guess it would have been nice to have that written down on paper. But it's the first day. Yeah, I'm not nervous. I guess I'm not nervous, but I'm not like anxious. I feel like I'm just floating along in the process. And so once I leave, I guess I'll record again just to kind of summarize. I guess if I felt anything differently now. I know it's my initial therapy session, so I really don't expect for anything too major to happen, but I don't know, you never know. So I'll go ahead and cut this short, and I guess I'll follow back up with another video. Hi everyone, this is Naquan. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna start. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I figured that I would just press record and just kind of go from there. Make sure I'm in shot. So I had my first therapy appointment, or session rather, August 30th, 2018. So that is on a Thursday. So that's roughly about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago from the time of recording today, which is, let me check my phone, September 10th. So on my way to my therapy session, I felt fine. I thought I was going to be scared. I thought I was going to be nervous, only more so because I didn't know what to expect. So I thought I would be scared and nervous, but that really didn't happen until I actually arrived and I had to wait for the therapist to come out. So during the waiting time, or the process of waiting, is when I started to feel kind of anxious, kind of nervous, because I didn't know what would unfold. So when I met with the therapist, she kind of started off with, well, I don't remember her exact words, but pretty much, why am I here, or what's going on. I think it was more so like, so what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And I started out by telling her that I think I'm depressed. I told her that I think that I am depressed, and I kind of saw how, like, the question mark in her face, like, okay, are you depressed because you think that, well, is it that you think that you're depressed, or are you like really depressed? She asked me, like, were you ever like clinically depressed? And I said no, but it's something that I know is prevalent in my family. And so I noticed that during this initial session, it was more so me talking, more so me speaking, and I found myself wanting to start back to my childhood years. And I kind of shared with her just my memories from the beginning of being bullied as a child for my sexuality. Even as a child, I knew that I was gay. I knew that I was different. I knew that I did not fit in. I knew that I did not fit the mold. And I was bullied for that. I was bullied for that horribly. I mean, there were times that I would run home from school with a group of guys just chasing me down several blocks, not even down the street, but chasing me several blocks, just chasing me. And I would be out of breath and whatever, but I kept going. Or I remember the times that I would get jumped and no one would come to my aid, even those who, I remember I was friends with this one particular guy. And I got jumped, and I thought that as a friend he would have helped, but that didn't actually never did happen. So I think as a result, and this was not a one-time occurrence, this was something that happened pretty frequently. And I think as a result, I shielded myself. I think I was trying to find ways to kind of protect myself. And so I kind of talked about that with her, and she started asking me questions like, did your parents know about it? And, I kind of answered, and I can tell that she had some questions. And then I kind of talked about from there just my experience, just the transition or the turn that my life took shortly after graduating high school in 2007. And the transition of assuming heavy responsibility of taking care of my family. I won't go into context of it here because I really don't want to dive into it, at least not now. And it's pretty sensitive, so I don't want to dive into it. But I can tell just from the questions and from her facial expressions. I tend to be one that's very observant. I tend to kind of read people's facial expressions and body language pretty well. So I can tell that she was kind of puzzled and had a lot of questions. But I don't want to really talk too much more about what was discussed in the session. But at the conclusion of the initial session, which we have so much more to talk about, but in the closing of that initial session, she said, I believe that you are depressed. And so on my way back home, I said, well, maybe I'll do some work or whatever. And on my drive back home, I just felt so depressed. I felt so depressed. I was like, I just want to go home right now. I don't need to be around anybody right now. And so that's how that day happened. And I'm not too surprised, only because I do know that I think that what triggered the depression is having to recall, maybe even relive, and having to be open and vulnerable about my experience, because it's an experience. If I ever decide to really share it with the public one day, if I ever really decide to really share it, it's an experience that was really traumatizing. It was an experience that I believe was a traumatic event, and I don't think I really realized it until after my initial session with my therapist or my psychologist. And so it's been about a week or two since then. I actually have my second session on tomorrow, September 11th. And I guess I'm recording this because I believe that it may help someone. I'm recording it because I know that I tend to bottle everything inside. One of the things that my therapist said is that she said, I recommend that you get a journal and that you begin journaling, which was ironic enough because I was already planning to do that. Actually, I already installed an app to do that. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm not exactly happy right now. And I've been coping by just eating. I have a Taco Bell bag here, and I have an Einstein bagel bag right here. I'm not sure if it's gonna go into focus. I've been going to Taco Bell and Einstein's, more so Taco Bell, for the past month or so. Last month I spent about $300, which I could not believe it. $300 in just eating out in fast food because I'm trying to cope with the depression. I'm trying to cope with just what I am feeling at the moment. And I realized that this is a pattern that I don't want to continue. And I do believe that I'm going in the correct direction and seeking help. So I have my session tomorrow. I'm not sure. A part of me looks forward to it, but then a part of me is not sure how I'm going to feel afterwards. Because the first session I was fine going into it, but I wasn't exactly fine coming out of it. And so I guess I'll wrap this up because I didn't really have notes down or anything like that. I just really wanted to just record it. Maybe I'll upload this, maybe I won't, I don't know. I know that I have so much potential. I have so much that I believe I am purposed to do on this earth realm. And it is my desire to do it, but I also realize that I also realize that this depression is very much real, and I also believe that there are things that are contributing to me feeling depressed. And so I feel as though in order for me to move forward in the way that I would like to move forward, career and just overall becoming the best version of myself, I have to deal with those demons or those things that I have swept under the rug in my mind, and that's how I chose to deal with it at that time. So I would like to think that maybe tomorrow I'll record maybe what happened after the session, maybe how I'm feeling. I don't know. I hate to be a negative Nancy, because the core of me is pretty positive. The core of me is pretty optimistic. The core of me is very encouraging, very inspiring, very motivating, very loving. That's, those are the things that make up the core of me. So I hate to be the negative Nancy that uploads content that may not portray that at this time. I just have to be real about where I am. So I'm sure I'll keep you guys posted.